Have you ever felt that quiet pang of disconnect?
Yeah.
Looking at your calendar and realizing it's been months since you really connected with a friend. Or maybe you've tried making new friends, but it feels like you're just navigating this social maze, and everyone else seems to have their group sorted.
Yeah, that's a really common feeling, I think.
Well, today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, building stronger friendships as adults and nurturing your tribe for support. Our goal here is to sift through a whole stack of insights and hopefully give you a clear, actionable roadmap. How to navigate this changing landscape of adult friendships and turn those maybe fleeting connections into a genuinely supportive community.
It's such a core human need, isn't it? But like you said, it just feels way more complex these days than maybe it should.
It really does. And you hear it everywhere, right? Casual chats, definitely online forums like Reddit. So many adults, especially people in their 30s, they say the same thing. Making friends feels harder than ever. They talk about how their few friends are just, too busy, working, dealing with their own lives, their own kids, making actual meetups feel like a rare achievement.
Right. There's often this sense of frustration, even maybe a bit of resignation when attempts just fizzle out.
Exactly.
And that feeling, it's not just a feeling, it really points to a big shift from how friendships usually form when we're younger.
Okay, how so?
Well, think back to, say, childhood or your early 20s. Friendships often just sort of happened organically, right? Through shared structures like school, uni, maybe your first job, even just living nearby.
Yeah, you're kind of thrown together.
Exactly. You were constantly put into environments with peers, and interaction was just, built into your day.
But adult life.
Adult life, yeah. As one source put it really well, it becomes this monsoon of obligations.
That's vivid.
It is, isn't it? It's like this flood of demanding work, maybe a partner, perhaps looking after aging parents, raising kids for many people.
Right.
We're juggling so much. And some studies have even found that things like romantic relationships and having kids, while wonderful, can be socially costly. Meaning they can lead to people actually having fewer close social ties overall, because all these responsibilities just consume enormous amounts of time and energy, time that might otherwise have gone into, nurturing friendships.
So you need social waterproofs just to survive the downpour.
That's a good way to put it. So yeah, it's not just a feeling that things are busier or harder.
So the numbers actually show this social shrinking.
They absolutely do. It's a pretty concerning trend that researchers have seen consistently. One study found that on average, people lose touch with about half their closest friends over just a 7-year period.
Wow, half. That's a lot.
It is. And then there's this huge meta-analysis looking at data from over 177,000 people. It concluded that our friendship networks have been steadily shrinking over the last 35 years or so.
Really?
Yeah. Like studies back in the early 80s showed people had, on average, maybe 4 more friends than people studied in the early 2000s. So it's not just perception. Our circles are actually getting smaller.
That's quite stark. And it really drives home that risk, that possibility of ending up pretty isolated as an adult. But the impact isn't just about feeling lonely, is it? There's strong evidence linking social connection to, overall happiness and well-being.
Oh, absolutely fundamental. That famous Very Happy People study, for example, it found that one of the key differences, maybe the key difference, between the least happy and the most happy people was how socially connected they felt.
So it's not just a nice to have, it's essential for thriving.
It's truly non-negotiable. And when we talk about finding your tribe, what we mean is finding that group of people who are really there for you through thick and thin, right?
Okay.
People who celebrate you at your best, support you at your worst. They're often like-minded, sharing your core values, encouraging your growth, letting you be authentic.
And they don't all need to be friends with each other.
Not at all. That's crucial. What matters is their connection to you, how they make you feel. Your tribe is your safe space, your cheer squad, your sounding board. They remind you of your worth and help you navigate all the ups and downs life throws at you.
So this idea of a tribe, it's not just some modern self-help thing. It goes deeper.
Oh, much deeper. It's rooted right in our history, in our evolution. Humans have survived and thrived for millennia by living in tribes.
Right, the whole community aspect.
Exactly. These groups provided shared resources, protection, mutual care. They passed down stories, knowledge. We are fundamentally wired to seek connection. Even today, think about it, isolation is used as a punishment. Solitary confinement.
Okay.
So lacking that connection, it really hits us hard psychologically and emotionally.
And the benefits of having it.
For mental health, they're profound. A caring social community gives you that vital emotional support, which directly helps lower stress and anxiety. It fosters that deep sense of belonging, reminding you you're not alone. Plus, being around people who genuinely believe in you, that's a massive boost for confidence, for self-love. And beyond just feeling good, a real tribe challenges you when you need it, helps you problem solve, offers different perspectives.
Holds you accountable sometimes, too.
Absolutely. Holds you accountable, supports your dreams. It leads to real growth, personal, professional, even spiritual. It's like holistic nourishment.
Okay. So we've got the why it feels hard, why it's so incredibly important. But now, the big question for so many people, the how. If adult friendships don't just happen, how do we actually make them happen? Where do we start?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer is, well, it takes deliberate effort. You have to be intentional.
Right.
And probably the single biggest hurdle for most people is that fear. The fear of putting yourself out there.
Yeah, that vulnerability.
Exactly. It's totally normal to feel vulnerable meeting new people, and that fear of rejection is always lurking, isn't it? But honestly, you're not alone in feeling that way. Pretty much everyone does.
So how do you get past that?
A key thing is to try and internalize this idea that rejection is just redirection.
Okay. What does that mean exactly?
It doesn't mean pretending rejection doesn't sting. It does. But it's about shifting how you interpret it immediately. Instead of seeing it as there's something wrong with me, try to see it as just, well, information. Data.
Like this path didn't work out.
Precisely. This specific interaction wasn't a match, so now you're free to redirect your energy towards paths or people that are a better fit. It's not a reflection of your worth.
That reframing could make a big difference.
It really can. And it makes another powerful mindset shift feel more achievable, which is assume that people like you.
Assume they like you. Isn't that a bit presumptuous?
It might feel like it at first, but research actually suggests this mindset has a kind of self-fulfilling quality.
How so?
Studies showed that when people believed the person they were interacting with already liked them, they actually started acting in ways that made that belief come true.
Interesting. Like
they shared more about themselves, they disagreed less, they generally had a more positive, open attitude. And this helps overcome both what researchers call overt avoidance, which is just not showing up at all.
Right, staying home.
And covert avoidance. That's when you do show up physically, but you're mentally checked out.
Like hiding in the corner on your phone.
Exactly. Or avoiding eye contact, staying quiet when there's a chance to chat. So by changing that internal assumption, assuming positive intent from others, you naturally feel more confident to actually engage, to initiate.
Okay, so mindset is key. Assume liking, see rejection as redirection. Now, for me, the really interesting part was the practical stuff, the actual actions. Let's dig into the how.
Right. Action time. So the very first step is crucial. You have to initiate.
Take a plunge.
Yes. Take that small, maybe slightly scary leap. Say hello, introduce yourself, maybe ask for contact info if it feels right. And this is important to actually follow up later.
That follow-up is key, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, especially in new settings. That initial contact opens the door, but the follow-up shows genuine interest. Often, everyone's just waiting for someone else to make the first move, so being that person can make all the difference.
And what about starting the conversation itself? That can feel awkward.
Totally. But there are some simple, practical conversation starters. One is just using the environment. Comment on something around you.
Right.
Wow, this place has a cool vibe. Have you been here before? Or maybe you see someone reading a book you know. Oh, I see you're reading author's name. How are you finding it? Simple stuff.
Okay, that feels manageable. What else?
Giving a genuine compliment works well. Not flattery, but something sincere. I really love your jacket. Where did you find it? Or if you're at an event, that was a great talk. What did you think of specific point?
People generally like compliments if they feel real.
Exactly. Then there's asking open-ended questions. Questions that invite more than a yes or no.
So, not nice weather, huh?
Haha, maybe not just that. More like, what brought you to this event today? Or what kind of things do you enjoy doing around here? Questions that encourage sharing.
Got it.
And a really effective one is the insight and question method. You share a quick thought or observation, then ask for their opinion.
Example.
You know, I really enjoyed the part of the lecture about topic because reason. What stood out most to you? Or maybe at a book club. My favorite character was X because. Who did you connect with? Research actually shows Sharing opinions lights up pleasure centers in the brain, so people often enjoy it.
Okay, initiate, use starters.
Yeah.
What's next after that first contact?
The next really critical piece is keep showing up. This is how acquaintances actually deepen into friendships.
Consistency.
Yeah. Yes, it taps into something called the mere exposure effect.
Ah, I think I've heard of that.
It's a basic psychological thing. We tend to like things and people more just by being exposed to them repeatedly, even passively. Our brains start to see familiarity as safe and comfortable.
So seeing the same faces regularly at, say, a class or club makes you naturally warm to them.
Exactly right. That's why joining activities that repeat over time is so effective. Language classes, book clubs, improv groups, sports leagues.
Things like pickleball seems huge now, or maybe a hiking group.
Definitely. Pickleball, disc golf, kickboxing, Dungeons and Dragons groups, knitting circles, volunteer teams, even connecting with other parents through your kids' activities. Or just regularly going to the same coffee shop or co-working space.
Right. That consistency helps push past the initial awkwardness.
It really does. It builds that familiarity, which fosters liking and comfort, making deeper conversations feel more natural over time.
Okay, makes sense. What else helps in finding the right people, not just any people?
Ah, good question. That involves first identifying your values and interests. A bit of self-reflection.
Like, what do I actually care about? What do I enjoy?
Precisely. What genuinely makes you happy? What activities do you lose track of time doing? Or what would you like to do more of? What causes matter to you?
And then find groups related to those things.
Yes. Your answers might point you towards the gym, volunteering, car shows, music festivals, whatever it is. And if a group doesn't exist for your specific niche interest, maybe you could even start your own meetup group.
That's proactive.
It is. And beyond just activities, think about the qualities you value in friends. Do you want people who are inspiring, grounded, playful, deep thinkers? Knowing this helps you recognize potential tribe members when you meet them, people who align with your authentic self.
And it's worth remembering, as you do this, you don't need like 50 best friends.
Oh, absolutely not. You don't need a huge tribe. Even one or two really meaningful, supportive relationships can make a massive difference. It is definitely quality over quantity.
So, okay, let's say you've made some connections, you've initiated, you're showing up, you're starting to identify potential friends. How do you then deepen those connections, turn acquaintances into real supportive friends? And also, how do you keep your existing friendships strong?
Right, this is the crucial nurturing phase, and it absolutely requires, time, effort, and intention. It's like that saying, the grass is green where you water it.
Friendships need watering.
They really do. They need consistent, mindful care to truly flourish.
So what does that watering look like in practice?
Well, the absolute foundation is prioritizing communication, and that's much more than just talking.
Active listening.
Yes, active listening is huge. Giving your full attention, showing empathy, maybe reflecting back what you hear to make sure you understand, like saying, okay, so it sounds like you're feeling frustrated, because that shows you're really tuned in.
What about honesty?
Honesty balanced with kindness is key. If something bothers you, it's usually better to communicate it directly, but thoughtfully. Maybe, hey, I felt a bit ignored earlier when X happened and it made me feel upset. Clarity, directness, but also choosing the right time patience and timing matter for sensitive talks.
And nonverbal stuff counts too, right?
Yeah, definitely. A warm expression, open body language, maybe a comforting touch, if appropriate, that all communicates care.
Okay, communication first. What else?
Next up is being authentic and vulnerable. To really shift from acquaintance to friend, you have to share things about yourself and ask people questions so they share about themselves too.
Getting past the surface level.
Exactly. Moving from just knowing of someone to truly knowing them. It could be as simple as admitting you're struggling with something at work to a colleague. That kind of openness often invites reciprocal sharing and builds a deeper connection.
Doesn't mean spilling your deepest secrets on day one, though.
No, not at all. It's gradual. Sharing your interests,
Yeah.
what you did over the weekend, what you're excited about, that starts to build the bridge and invites others to share too.
Makes sense. What about when things go wrong? Conflicts happen.
They do. And that's where practicing forgiveness comes in. Disagreements, disappointments. They're natural in any close relationship.
Holding grudges is toxic.
So toxic. It just erodes the trust and warmth. It can sometimes feel easier to forgive a partner than a friend. Maybe the expectations are different, but grace is just as vital in friendships. Try to approach issues with understanding, talk openly about feelings, and actually work to resolve things rather than letting resentment build.
It takes effort.
It does. Another key aspect is respecting boundaries. Every friendship is different. People have different needs for space, different communication preferences.
Like one friend might love texting daily, another prefers a call once a week.
Exactly. Or someone might need some quiet time after a really busy period at work. Healthy friendships thrive on mutual respect and acknowledging each other's autonomy. It means trying not to take it personally if someone can't reply instantly or needs to reschedule.
Good reminder. And finally,
and this is huge, offer support. Friendships are built on reciprocity. Be someone your friends can count on.
show up for them.
Show up. For the big moments, yes, but also crucially during the tough times. A job loss, a breakup, illness. Offer a listening ear without judgment. Be an anchor when they feel vulnerable. Real friendship, as one source said, transcends dinner dates and fancy restaurants and happy fun moments. It's about being there when it really matters.
That's powerful, being there when it counts. Now, speaking of the give and take in friendships, there's this really interesting kind of hidden dynamic around reciprocity. We usually just assume it's mutual.
Yeah.
If I consider you a friend, you consider me one too.
Yeah, that's the common assumption. It stems from our desire for social harmony, wanting things to be balanced. But the research actually shows asymmetries often occur. Meaning a significant chunk of friendships are actually unreciprocated. One person sees the other as a friend, but that feeling isn't fully mirrored back. It's not always a perfect 50-50 match in perception.
Why does that happen?
Well, a couple reasons. It could be differences in gregariousness, how outgoing someone is and what their personal definition or threshold for friend is.
Right. One person might call anyone they chat with regularly a friend.
Exactly. Maybe they list 20 friends, while another person reserves that label for only their 3 closest confidants. So they might both be in each other's lives, but perceive the level of friendship differently.
Okay.
Or it could be differences in popularity, for want of a better word. The relationship might just mean more or feel closer to the person who perhaps has fewer overall connections. And these unreciprocated ties, they tend to have lower levels of positive feelings and they can be more fragile.
Less satisfying, maybe.
Potentially, yeah. And there's an interesting risk here, too, especially for very outgoing people who might not be perceived as popular in the same way by others.
What's the risk?
They might overestimate their social capital. They might assume they have lots of strong reciprocal ties that the other people in those relationships don't see in quite the same way. This could lead to disappointment down the line if they rely on support that isn't perceived as strongly by the other person.
Wow, that's quite counterintuitive. So for you listening, thinking about your own friendships, what's the takeaway here? Should we be constantly trying to figure out who really counts us as a friend?
No, that sounds exhausting and probably quite unhealthy. It's not about scorekeeping or becoming transactional.
Okay, good.
Rather, understanding this dynamic is more about managing expectations and being a bit more mindful about where you invest your social energy.
How so?
The insight is that while having a wide network might feel good on the surface, the real depth of your support system lies in those relationships where the reciprocity feels clear and consistent. It reinforces that idea of quality over quantity, not just when building friendships, but also when evaluating where your most reliable connections are.
So pay attention to who consistently shows up for you, invests in you.
Exactly. You can sort of subtly observe for those signs of mutual effort and investment without needing to, conduct formal interviews. It just helps you be more intentional about where you pour your precious time and emotional energy, focusing on nurturing those genuinely mutual connections, the ones that will likely be there when it really counts.
That makes a lot of sense. Focus on the quality and the mutual investment. So this has been a really rich deep dive. We've touched on why adult friendships can feel so challenging today, but also why having that tribe is so fundamentally important for our well-being, drawing right back to our human history. We've gone through really practical, deliberate steps for building new bonds, initiating, showing up, finding your people, and then those crucial strategies for nurturing connections, communication, vulnerability, forgiveness, boundaries, support.
And understanding that reciprocity piece adds another layer of insight, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah, and I think if there's one core message to take away, it's that meaningful connections are absolutely worth the effort involved. You are worthy of finding and being part of a tribe that genuinely lifts you up, celebrates who you are, and reminds you, especially in tough times, that you're not alone.
It's an investment, really?
It's a fundamental investment in your own well-being, your growth, your happiness. It's just a vital part of being human.
Definitely.
So maybe as you reflect on all this, think about one small, deliberate step you could take this week. Just one thing.
Like what?
Perhaps it's finally reaching out to that old friend you keep meaning to text just to genuinely check in, see how they are. Or maybe it's making that introduction at the next meeting of your book club or sports team, doing it with that conscious intention of initiating a connection.
Just one small action.
Just one. And reflect on how that single intentional step might open the door to the next really positive chapter for your social well-being, helping you build or strengthen that tribe that truly supports and uplifts you.